White Walker perpetuated offenses are considered especially heinous. In Westeros, 4 dedicated friends investigate and discuss these vicious episodes as members of an elite squad known as A Podcast Has No Name.
I'm Ambush.
I am Castro.
And I'm Morg, and we are A Podcast Has No Name. Shout out to Af, who could not be on the call tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight we are going to talk about Wu-Tang, an American saga on Hulu, episodes 1 through 5. And then we'll do 6 through 10 when they're done. So we're going to talk about Can It All Be So Simple, Winter Wars, All In Together Now, All I Got Is You, and Cold World.
Bruh.
Oh, I forgot the
What?
the synopsis of the show.
Mm-hmm.
The show tracks the Wu-Tang Clan's formation, a vision of Bobby Diggs who strives to unite a dozen young black men that are torn between music and crime, but eventually rise to become the unlikeliest of American success stories.
It's pretty good.
All in together now.
I'm not in love with that synopsis.
Shimmy, shimmy, ya. Shimmy, yay. Shimmy, ya.
There he is.
Give me the microphone, and I'm going to take it away.
Mm-hmm.
Off. I can't remember, but a natural charge, Bon Voyage, with the Wu-Tang squad. Wu-Tang killer bees on the swamp. Nice.
Can you remember? Hold on, Castro. Can you remember a time when those lyrics were like embedded in every cell of your body? Like it would be impossible. You know what I'm saying? It would be.
When it's on, there's at least anywhere. There's at least 10, maybe 20 songs you know by heart, or at least you know it.
Like you could write the lyrics.
And we're not talking
out.
about easy songs. They're
right.
intricate. Yeah,
right.
These things are intricate, and that was their talent. Like nothing was easy, but we knew all of those. You know what I'm saying? Like tarantula, substantial.
Man.
Oh my God!
Okay.
Jump like Rod Strickland.
Okay.
So tonight we are talking about Wu-Tang, your American, we American Saga.
Wow.
Not to be confused with the documentary earlier this year of Mike's and Men, the 4-part.
Still gotta see
that's
that.
dope too. Go check that one out.
Still gotta see that.
Oh, you're kind of tripping, just to be honest with you.
I forgot about it.
And also to coincide with that, there's a new Hip Hop Evolution episode on Netflix, and they have a little Wu-Tang section on there too. So it's like Wu-Tang all the time, all over your area.
Nice.
But this series is a little different in that they are serialized and turned the Wu-Tang story into I said serial. I'll say it twice. To a serial episodic
Drama.
Fictional show. Drama.
Dramatization. I do like
all of the drums.
I do like Hulu's marketing. Like I didn't realize they were dropping episodes week by week at first when the series started. I thought they were just dropping the whole joint. And then one of the ads
giving you the whole pack.
Yeah. And one of the ads was like, new episode every Wu Wednesday. I said, ooh, look at y'all. Yeah. Go ahead.
Paying attention. Paying attention to social media.
All right.
So the social media is in there.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's got to be the only reason that they're doing this weekly, right? Is that you're able to do the marketing campaign of Wu Wednesday.
Right.
Because otherwise, do we not live in 2019?
I mean, yeah, they drop everything all at once, but also the pace of this show, it definitely needs a week in between.
No,
and we'll
disagree.
Get into I definitely agree.
Let's look at it this way, though, y'all.
Before we get into
doesn't Hulu, I'm trying to think of other shows I watch on Hulu. Do they drop full seasons? Like when Broad City started back up?
I don't think I know of a
Broad City
Hulu
started back
original.
up. They drop that week by week. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
No, they do Attack on Titans on Hulu. You get an episode every week.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was watching Castle Rock.
Castle Rock was every week.
Do episodic stuff.
Yeah.
More like Hulu appeal, because when we look for the archive shows, they have them all there, but they do have time in between their releases.
Yeah.
As opposed to Netflix, which never does. So yeah.
So Hulu is the network TV of streaming?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Now they have so much original content. Like, you remember?
Get it together is all I'm saying.
I think they have, no, they don't have Seinfeld. NBC Plus has Seinfeld. So, but I think Netflix has gotten some agreements. First, I just want to start with a main question about this series. Firstly, are you glad that this show exists?
Very.
In the form of this?
Yes.
Very.
All right, hit me why? Because I'm on the fence.
Interesting. So, one of the things you mentioned earlier with the pace, I'm happy that the show exists because I feel like I'm learning more about these characters. I'm learning more about these people. And their family. Like learning more about the circumstances they grew up in. I'm familiar with the time period. And I'm enjoying the pace. Like the fact that we're halfway through this first season and nobody has a deal. Like Jizza don't got his deal yet. Like we haven't even met Deck yet. Like I'm ready for this to. I was telling Morgan, I'm ready for this to go on for a couple of seasons until we get to the point when Old Dirty interrupts on the MTV Awards. Like I'm let this thing roll. I want that.
The
Let
pace
it roll.
is infuriating me.
Really?
The pace is infuriating me.
Why?
I cannot stand it because first off, if you notice the marketing, they're pretty open with it. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of little interviews. There's no indication that there will even be a second season. So I have to go under the auspices that this series has a point because maybe they didn't know. And so when I was watching it, I first thought we were going to get into the 36 and then putting it up. But at this pace, that would require a whole lot of jumps that are not going to happen.
No, not at all.
So now at this point, I think we're going to get to the point where they all put their fists in a circle and Wu-Tang Unite at the last episode. Because I wasn't aware of how that was going, I got annoyed when I was like on episode 2 or 3, like, what are we doing? And also, the pace to me influences the setup. So I thought, and this is just me, that maybe every episode would be a member, 10 episodes, kind of focus, not the whole episode, but you focus on them, you give their little flashbacks, you show them what happened, and then
Orange is the New Black movement.
Yeah, and then we have the big collective at the end. That is not what's going on. This show is about the Diggs family and the Coles family.
I think,
and I'm not sure.
I think it was a gamble. I think it was a gamble to pace it this way, to see what the public reaction was going to be, to see if they'll get renewed for a second season. Honestly, I'm curious to see how this last episode ends, but I prefer that they took this chance. I do. Like this thing really could be a couple seasons. I mean, the way they're shaping the drama and telling the stories here, like it's really interesting. And it's not just about these dudes being rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an interesting drama playing out right now. Like learning about RZA's sister and all of that. Like all of that playing. Like we're interested in her as a character, not just because this is RZA's little sister. So like I think this thing has legs. I think it can actually go for a couple of seasons, and they wrote it with the intention of trying to get renewed for a second season. So that's why I love the pace. Yeah, I'm here for this joint.
Morg?
I really like the storytelling. I like the way that it's being told. I like learning more about each person. I don't know at all how much of it is real or not. Like, I really don't have that much of a frame of reference. So I'm not taking it like I know everything about them, but it definitely feels like you're getting to know who they want you to think they are. You know what I mean? So I'm here for that. I love learning about like the sister and the mom and the auntie and like that whole dynamic. Oh God. I like a lot, and these actors are incredible. So that's my biggest takeaway from all of it is how amazing this cast is. Like they just nailed a lot of it. and I'm appreciative of that.
Okay. I am on the fence.
Mhm.
I an extreme Wu head, and I say that first because that's the root of most of my problems with the series. Just in the sense, and I'm not saying let's talk about the problems first. I'm just saying like there's an accuracy hitch where we kind of know what happened and what didn't happen. So you come to find out when you're watching the show, you're like, well, did that happen? No, I don't remember. Like, so you get caught up in that and just rather than just enjoying it as a show. This is the problem with most Wu heads watching this show. We're having an issue with suspending our disbelief and just saying like, all right, boom, this is a way for them to make Wu-Tang palatable for people that have no idea about it, for people that are younger. This is sugarcoating Wu to make it, make it edible. Yeah, take this. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just think about these desperate former drug dealers that turned into rappers. Like, we're going to package this up and put it into a show where you could show, like, yo, these down and out cats put their minds together and got out of their situation, through this rap shit. So I'm appreciative of it existing on that level, just giving Wu-Tang to younger people in a way they could. Most people, they don't care. Wu-Tang old school and stuff. So the show really does that for them. But sometimes I get hitched up on the accuracy of shit. And then I do appreciate the actors, and we're going to get into it because we're going to break down the characters. But the fact that they went more towards actors than physical resemblance takes me out of the show too. Because, like, Raekwon's wearing a fat suit. I can see it.
I don't even think it's a fat suit. I think his clothes are just like he's stuffed with sweats or something. Like,
no, he is.
But he's not even fat.
He is literally wearing a fat suit. They have to make him big because Raekwon was really short and
a little chubby.
No, I know.
There's no way to. Yeah,
that was my.
Not
so
like
I guess
that,
what I'm trying to say is I had an issue with how he didn't like he doesn't look chubby. He looks like he has 2 sweatshirts on.
Oh, but he is wearing a fat suit. He's much slimmer than that. Period. Like, he's wearing one for the role.
Wow.
And he definitely looked. And well, I will say that may have been a little issue. Might be a little issue now that I think about it. He didn't look that chubby in the first 2 episodes.
In the first 2 episodes, he looked normal.
Yeah, he started looking chubby.
I think they pumped it up now. You're right.
Yeah.
They're pumping it up as it goes along.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's dissect that. Let's do a quick summary of each major character, or each character, major or otherwise.
Cool.
I'll snatch the first 2. And I want to know y'all opinion on how y'all like the character and the cat playing them, like how they doing. So first 2 characters are RZA and Divine.
Okay.
I like the actor, for Moonlight fame from RZA. But the way they have him looking with the fake hair and stuff, I have a problem with cinema hair anyway, and I just think they just don't know how to do twists, locks, dreads. They just don't know what they're doing. I don't know what it is. It really drives me nuts, but it's not distracting me too much. But I do like the actor a lot, so I'm digging that. Divine, excellent. Like, he is like killing it for me. Like, he's my favorite character right now in depiction. He talks like Divine, like, wow. And I know Divine is a little reclusive, so I don't know if the kid had time to sit with Divine, but he must have, because he's doing an excellent job. What do y'all think about them cats?
You can go ahead, MJ.
So, I really like the kid from Moonlight. I feel terrible for not remembering his name in this moment. But again, I'm going to preface everything that I say with, I have a decent level understanding of every single member of the Wu-Tang Clan from TV and magazines. You know what I mean? Like, I was not immersed in that culture. So there are certain things that I don't know if that's accurate. I asked Am yesterday, was RZA really this fucking awkward? Like, he's so awkward. He was like, yeah. He's like, no, yeah, that's
there's some truth to that. But it was more, but that's the funny thing, because of the actor and his prowess, they make him awkward the way he acts. RZA in real life was awkward because he was overtly yo, like over. Like he would do shit over, and you're like, what's going on with this motherfucker? Like him and Old Dirty had the same high energy, and Jizza had this confidence. So when you get
we're
to the
gonna
three
get
of
to
them,
this point of seeing Bobby turn into this overconfident person. Then,
no, I think the way he plays RZA is how he's always gonna play RZA. But when no, I don't think so. But
yeah, because I don't think RZA sees
Yeah,
himself that way. I think he sees himself as
right.
the calculated
yeah.
thinker, and that's the version. That's the version this character.
Before we move forward, before we move forward,
we still on RZA. We still on RZA. Wait, we still on RZA. We ain't moved forward.
No, but we have to talk about RZA in real life. Okay, listeners, RZA.
Thank you.
RZA is writing this show along with this guy, Alex Sue. I might be pronouncing his name wrong. He just did something really good. So you have to know and understand when RZA is involved with a film and or cinema project and he is writing it, there is a certain tone and timbre and how everything is going to come out. Reference the Legend of the Iron Fist.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Listen.
Son, I don't know what happened, but he's too clean now. Sometimes he just loses his sensibility. Like, you know how Raekwon can always Raekwon, man, how would somebody say this? He could just break it down, even if he's in a professional setting.
Yeah.
RZA can't do that anymore. And RZA thinks he's better at movies than he is. So so I just want everybody to know about this show as they watch it, that the RZA is at the helm. And when the RZA is at the helm, there are certain things you have to expect. The animation, things like that.
Okay.
The weird way that they don't have the rights to the beats, so they play these weird versions of the beats.
I don't understand that.
That's a record label thing, most likely. That's probably a record label thing, just in the sense of like, is it worth us paying ourselves for all of this music?
Okay.
You know, I mean, yeah, them too, but in a sense, like for us to put them
but
in a show.
How do you not?
Well, you didn't own your masters back then. So there's probably like they own some and probably I own some. And just the effort of paying for all of these songs just to put on a TV show, no TV show does that. They always try to get some free license and shit, have somebody play something loud and maybe spend for one song. And you would be surprised which song costs the most for that episode. This series, they got to pay for 3 or 4 songs. They're not doing that. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not cost effective.
Oh,
so I think that's why you get these other versions.
Per episode. Yeah, I feel what you're saying. It's just crazy.
You know what I mean?
You would think they would have something worked out before this because they're telling their
Yeah,
own story.
I guess that's it. It's just like it's their own story. How do you not have your
all right,
own?
like look at the New Edition series. They had all the rights to their songs. Why? Because all 6 were involved. And the label. So everything could sign off. This, unfortunately, everybody's not involved in this. So they can't sign off.
Gotcha.
I didn't understand that. Who's not involved?
You, God, is not on the show, and neither is his character.
Wait,
he's not ever going to be on the show?
No, he's never going to be on the show.
What?
Hold on. You needed to start this entire episode with giving us this understanding, this underground knowledge. What are you talking about?
What happened?
So you, God, did not agree to this situation. So if you notice, okay, so here's another thing about Wu lore. You, God, is very vital. I know people like try to diss him and how he raps him up, but he is very central to a lot of Wu shit, period. Like, without you, God, there wouldn't be any Wu because he connected a lot of dots, just like RZA was a dot connector. Like, at the Statue of Liberty, Meth worked with you, God. But here's the thing. You, God, was also the supplier. So if anybody ran out, you, God, moved away for them. You have to go to him. You went to Yui. And top that off, Yui and Raekwon knew each other since they were like 8 years old, shooting guns out of windows. So you have to sacrifice some of their story if you're going to take somebody out like that. It's not like they chopped off Master Killer and became that. So there will be no you, God, in here. Now, what you might see and what I thought I picked up on is little things that could be attributed to you, God's history that they give to other characters. Or they break him off into other pieces and stuff. But he is very vital, and it's going to be a tricky story to tell the way you have to take him out.
That's wild.
Okay, so what did he object to? He didn't want to be a part of this at all, just from the jump? Like, what's his
Well, I don't know the
situation.
intricacies, but like they're always it's
okay.
all complicated because you're dealing with like 8 to 9 different economic situations, and even though they have tiers and shit like that, you got always bucks against that. And also, he's like selling a book now, so would it be more profitable than promote his book with controversies or whatever than to be part of this show? And you got is one that will always he always stood up for himself like, nah, I don't want to do this. I don't like how it's looking. Whereas RZA takes the check. You know, takes the check, moves it over. You Garden does not always take the check. He ain't with that shit. If they're gonna be misrepresented, he ain't gonna do that. So as soon as he probably heard there'd be some fictional shit, he's probably like, nah, fuck that. I'm good. I'm out. But there's still majority rules, so they can still tell their story just without him.
So
and I'm talking about
it's
like,
only
they had to
him.
do all types. Yeah, they had to do all types of shit. So like they'll say like when they're selling drugs on the corner, they say like how much drugs do you have? Like 2 ounces. They'll call fucking Ghostface. Yo, Ghost, hi, Ghost, this is such an AP. On this day, did you sell 2 ounces? And he calls RZA back later like, yo, was that the fucking cops? Like,
Right.
It's the movies and shit like that. So the way they had to transmute this story, it'd just be interesting at what choices they made. Or, well, Chris Robinson and shit. So that's why I'm a little disappointed because it's still a little campy for me. And I feel
I mean, I feel like a fictional retelling, I think, will always feel a little bit campy. No?
But look at NWA. Look at Straight Outta Compton. A lot of that shit was fake. Like, they didn't come, like, the ham-fistedness of Straight Outta Compton when they would meet, when Snoop Dogg would walk in, he'd be like, oh, I got something. 1, 2, 3. Right. That didn't happen that way. Or when they run into Pac, yo, man, this is like California. No, they didn't make this song there. So I was willing to let them have those moments because for narrative purposes, you just do that. Right. But to make it super camp, what this is not on purpose. It's just like, it's like it doesn't have any teeth. It's too dulled down, and they didn't have to. Like we've been telling gritty stories. They could have told it a little more realistic. I mean, not saying it's not gritty. They did shootouts and drugs, but
I mean, it's fine.
Like to me, because I know too much about the Wu, I can see the zipper. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I can see where they changed that up. Like for a long time, I had to figure out did they even shoot up Ghost Crib like that? Because I couldn't remember and I couldn't wrap my head around if they did that, how they came together to be a group after
So this has been my whole thing, the whole show is how could at any point they become friends? Like I don't understand how any of this happened.
That did happen. But I don't think his brothers were there at the time. That's one that's kind of flaky. And I think it was Power that shot the place up. So the way I reconcile whether this happened or didn't, and actually did happen because Papa Wu said it. And once Papa Wu said something, I think, oh, yeah, it really happened. Think of it more so as that they were beefing, but Park Hill and Stapleton didn't like each other. So think you don't like somebody up the block, and one bitch in there, you don't like her. But y'all never bumped into each other or never came across each other. But it would be on site if so. So when you're talking about, you hear his name, fuck that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But never really physically came to it until probably. And the RZA would trick them. He wouldn't just bring them down into the basin. He would be tricking them instead of letting them go somewhere. Yo, come down here. And then such and such be down there.
Oh, wow. You know I mean? Seriously?
Yeah, he used to divert them and distract them. Even if he wasn't setting them up with somebody in the studio, he would distract them. He'll come down here. And they would lay something, and the next thing you know, it's on song with somebody else. And then he has both of them show up. Like he was always doing that, pulling them from all, from them being pulled in all these other directions.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, that's why that documentary, I don't know if you watched it, but you saw the home video all these home video portions of them really breaking down their rhymes to each other, the first couple. Can it be also simple? They say, yeah, I mean this and that. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna be the greatest, and they just sitting in there, dusty, just working on this shit, not even knowing they're making masterpieces. Well, they did. They all said it.
Right.
But definitely RZA comes.
Yeah, but do you think they really knew it at the time, or is that dramatized too? I mean, I feel like
So here's the thing. There's a couple of things going on. These are 5% young men, which I don't even know how they picked up that shit that early. It was a Staten Island type thing. So they got knowledge of stuff at 13, 14, which in essence means don't walk around here being stupid either. Like don't, you're not going for the okie doke even if you're out in the streets. It gave them a sense of intelligence has some value, right?
Yeah.
Then and so then you move on to Dirty believed they were going to be superstars, and he really did. And every time they would get down, he would straight say it. He'd get in their face. Only he was one of them cats. He really, that, oh, this guy said it for all these years. He wanted that. He really believed it. And so he would be the battery in everybody's back, no matter how down they would get. And they also, the other thing that's kind of amazing is there's so many of them, so they knew there wasn't no money.
Right.
They knew that
they knew that wasn't money
that's why the deal was set up where they all can go get solo deals on their own, because Steve Rifkin told them, I really don't have enough money to pay y'all kind of what y'all work. So if you want to, y'all can go get other deals. Give us the first crack at it, and if you can get a better number out there, you go right ahead. That's why it was set up that way, out of an agreement to work hand in hand. Otherwise, they wouldn't have ever went to Loud, because Loud really didn't have enough money. But they let them do what they wanted to do. They weren't going to change them. Other places wanted to change and wanted to break them up in little smaller groups or break them up all together. Loud said, no, we'll keep all of y'all. We just can't pay all y'all the way y'all want, so y'all can go get solo deals in addition to this deal y'all got with us. And then they grew together. That's
wow.
Loud. And in the midst of it, they had unprecedented. Nobody get that. Every imprint is an umbrella underneath something else.
Right.
Everything is /this/. Nobody has a solo deal and then a group deal would have made. Nobody. Not anymore. And not getting the points that they were getting. It was ridiculous, but it worked. So, like, it is an American drama saga. It is like an improbable, like, how did this even work? All of rap groups we know, but Wu-Tang everybody said this shit wouldn't work. So they weren't like there wasn't no arms race to get them. Oh, gotta get them on some Drake shit,
Right.
It was like, what the fuck is this? When the first video came out, what the fuck is this? Protecting Neck on the radio, what the fuck? It was a series of those. That's how it was. It was like, yo, what the fuck is this? But it was, you couldn't turn away. Like, Protecting Neck, you understand, in real time, this video comes out, the time code is on it. It's in black. It looks like it's not finished.
Right.
Oh, no, Wu-Tang Clan on forward. Protecting Neck, excuse me, the first video. You're like, what the fuck? You're watching glossy videos a little bit. You're watching videos done, whatever. But then you see this shit. All these rappers, who's that? Who is that one? What is that
There's
one?
so many.
Yeah, it was, and nothing was the same. I remember the day I saw that shit. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? What is this? But in the best way possible.
Right.
They were like, there was time code on the video. Nobody left a time code. You didn't even know videos looked like that if you never shot a video with it.
Right.
You didn't even know that shit had longitude, latitude, and all that shit on it until you see this shit. These motherfuckers is rapping. You're like, what the fuck?
So true.
Yeah.
I'm still like,
my favorite. What?
I'm
More
still.
questions?
No, I'm just still stuck on him. Just like, nah, I'm not doing it, and everyone else being like, what's the conviction there?
He's always gonna buck back if it's not to his liking, and they have a tier system. So the top tier, in terms of how money broke down, the top tier is RZA, Jizza, Ghost, and Ray. And then there's people lower than that, and then there's everybody else. So, all right, let's move on to the next two characters. I'm so interested in what y'all gonna say about these that I will save my comments to last. Ghost and Dirty.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you.
Well,
go.
Dennis.
Yeah, you go, man.
Ason, as they're called in the show.
I look forward to every single scene Dirty is in. Every single scene.
Agree.
His portrayal is immaculate. Dead on.
He's doing a good job.
Oh my God. He's doing a great job. He's giving me
one little caveat is they wanted to use Dirty's son, Young Dirty, because he does look just like him, but they had to go with the actor. Because this cat is acting as Dirty was just better at it than his son. So imagine that, to beat out, somebody's son who's a spitting image of him.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. But yeah, he's amazing.
So he wasn't considered those, what you're saying, like he auditioned or what?
Yeah, at first, yep. At first
Yeah,
they were
okay.
trying to go with Young Dirty Bastard, but then this cat was just blowing it out the water. I don't know his name. He's a little new because I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
But he's doing a great job.
didn't the same thing happen with Easy? Like they were trying to get his son wanted the role,
Yeah.
and then
old
boy landed and killed
tried
it.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they at least give the kids the opportunity to give them a shot, whether they have
Well,
any acting,
because
they don't have any acting chops. They might not have any.
I mean, O'Shea Jackson got the shot, and now he wasn't doing that shit before.
Listen,
he wasn't.
They ain't had no choice.
Right. He auditioned.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yep. That nigga is Cube. Sheesh. 100%
All day.
Ghost.
Okay. Sorry.
Dennis.
I'm
Dennis.
I love the actor. I think he's communicating some serious situations. He's bringing the drama right to your face.
He's trying too hard. I don't know what videos he was watching as reference. He is trying too hard, son. You know what I'm saying, son? This shit is crazy, son. I'm yelling at you, son. You're my best friend, son. You got extra toothbrush, son? Well, I'm staying over the night. You got extra toothbrush a nigga can use?
That's what
toothbrush got son. It's way too much. He is turned all the way. I'm sorry. He is too turned up. It's bad enough he don't look like Ghost. I'm okay with that. Because there's another thing with them. There's a certain height thing, Morg. Ghost is huge.
Yeah, I know.
Giant. Like these guys are like, these guys are 6'4", 6'3". They're not just 6 foot tall, like, amateurs.
Right.
Like they're tall.
They're all
tall people. And Raekwon Small and Ghost. Right. But they have tall members in their crew. I think that's one of the crews. They have like some of the tallest members in hip hop and shit. And so that's kind of weird that they have this regular size. I know what he's going for, y'all.
That is true.
He's going for this crazy Ghost, and he probably talked to Ghost. But truth be told, probably nobody could do Ghost. Ghost was crazy. Like they always said that Ghost was literally out there, and to portray a '90s out there New York cat, there's a certain nuance to that. Like you got to sit and talk to Bones Malone heavy, like to get that off. There was a certain type of cat who was just off, and they can go off at any time, but everybody was cool with them because they're on your team. But this, like Ghost, was not the cool, calm, slick Ghost that you see on records and shit like that. He was like a ticking time bomb. He was the one that got in the most trouble. Like Ghost, you ever tell me, I got stabbed, I got shot. He got shot in the neck.
You know what's
he acted like he went to the card. He acted like he went to the store, bought a Hallmark card, and I lost the envelope. No, he got shot. The way he used to talk about his brothers, you thought, like one had a limp. You didn't know they were like invalid until later, like even with the lyrics. So I think that's pretty big. Him in particular is a tall mountain to climb for me to believe. Oh, that's young Ghostface. But Morg, since you don't have the actual reference to his younger self or the stories, what do you think of Dennis?
So I have a combination of the two. I like the actor, but there are times where it's overacting, and I can like when he's mad, it's like he doesn't really know how to have that body language. The body language is just off.
Yeah.
So then it's a lot of neck and it's loud. Like, but I gotta say, that definitely is what it looked like from over here. Was just a son, like a lot of yelling. Like, so it's not that far off.
What I'm saying is, there are cats like that, but there are cats that are emoting that way, and it's hard to even describe. But it's not that. See, like loud cats.
I think I get it.
Like, I'm not breaking down. It's real easy. I think so. Loud cats in New York are cats that get aggressive.
Pete, what she's saying though? She's saying from over here, as in from the West Coast, all of that shit.
Right? No, I get that. I get that. So here's the main thing about even loud cats, angry cats, set-it-off cats. Nobody in New York, in our mind, is being extra with it. You're not extra. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You're not bringing any more attention than is necessary right there. So you get loud, you might be a pop-off cat. Like most of the crazy cats, they one-hit quitters. They would come and knock you out with one punch and walk off. There wasn't a lot of rah-rah. That shit nobody's woofing. Like all that woofing shit was in the dozen, but fighting was fighting, and conflict was conflict. Like when people used to say, and I just want to put this out there, when people say about beef and New York beef, Morgan, it means like every time you see this motherfucker, y'all fighting for years. Years. I remember the shit pisses me off. Beef in New York pisses me off. I'm talking 5 years, 10 years, maybe.
How are we still going?
Right.
We don't even know why we're fussing, but I don't like that nigga, and I will never like him. And also, not just not liking him, there will be a conflict every time we're in the same space. Mm-hmm. So that's hard to portray. So I salute the brother trying to be Dennis, but.
I mean, he describes himself as an unhinged dust head. Like, that gives you a lot to think about. You know what I mean?
Yes. There's a lot of ways to go with that. But at the same time, I think we've seen people portray that character, you know, with a little bit more grasp, a little more grip than this kid. Mm. Like, when he went back in the store
I'm still here for him.
Beat up Power's father. And kicked his fake leg, like all that. That was like Daenerys hearing the bells again. I don't know if you're hearing the bell at the front door, smelling the leather. He couldn't take it. Smelling the leather, seeing the pictures on the wall of Power. Oh no, I can't take it, yo.
I mean, that seemed believable to me. That seemed like something Ghost would do. Unhinged dust head, yes.
I got you. All right, let's dive into some more. And I do got Power on my mental list, so we're going to talk about him too. So the next two cats are tied together. They seem not to like each other at all in the show. And that would be Shalab Ray and Meth, a.k.a. Shotgun. Now, Meth's real name is Shaquan, the panty raider, but he was called Shotgun.
Okay, listen. You're looking to ask his real name.
His government name.
No. Shaquan was another like alias. Y'all met the man.
Yeah.
You know, but Shaquan is what they call him. So when I kept hearing Shotgun on the show, I was like, what are they saying? I remember getting close to the TV, like, what are they saying? I thought they were saying Shaquan. Just, you know, I didn't think about it. But then I heard, you know what I'm saying, clear, and I was like, are they saying Shotgun? So, you know.
So does that make you happy or not? Like that?
No, because right? I would have rather them go with Shaquan. I would love that.
Is that in the timeline? Like, how's it work?
So back then, when he was rapping, he was Shaquan, the Panty Raider. You know, remember that lyric he always says? Mm-hmm. The Panty Raider. He was Shaquan.
And so Shotgun wasn't before that?
No, Shotgun was way before that.
Okay.
From what I understand.
Okay.
Shotgun makes more sense, right? For where we are in the show?
Yeah.
No. When him and Raekwon were having that little thing, they used to, in real life, they were like rapping together. Like Method Man says his one goal was to rap in the staircase and impress Raekwon. And so at that point, he had like a name. It wasn't Method Man. And Shaquan was probably like, from what I understand, that's probably more accurate in terms of the timeline, what they were calling him back then. Shotgun was probably like one of them earlier rap names that they might have threw out there. Like, for instance, RZA was never called Dynamite. I don't care who the fuck tells you that.
RZA's telling us that.
Right, RZA's telling the story.
RZA's writing the show. He's telling us that.
That's my point. RZA is like, yo, my character, I'm going to say I'm a dynamite when I'm younger. Like, yo, can you imagine those writer room meetings? Lord mercy, somebody save me.
So Dynamite wasn't before Prince Rakeem?
Dynamite wasn't nothing. He was never called Dynamite.
I need to know, where are you pulling this from? Where are you pulling this from?
I know. So first of all, there's the Tower of Wu that he wrote himself.
Right.
Like RZA will tell on himself, right? So there's that one. And then there's this other book I have it written down. It's another thing, like another person from their perspective. Mm-hmm. Then you also got to listen to like Papa Wu, because Papa Wu was there from the beginning. Yeah. He always tell the truth. So if you just listen, he'll tell you stuff while
Did you say he always tells the truth? Is that what you said?
Because he's like one of them, like, they got the knowledge from him too. What I'm saying is, if you listen to Papa Wu, he'll tell you something that you didn't ask.
He's in a couple episodes, right? That's him in the park. type of knowledge
the
itself.
chess.
That's,
in essence.
not the dude playing chess, but the dude that's standing up actually talking.
Preaching the word.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And
got
then,
it.
like, Papa Wu was around when they were like kids, and they used to get, like, he gave them real knowledge and shit. So like Papa Wu told a story about where Dirty got his name from. He literally was dirty. He didn't like to wash. You had to battle him, getting him in the tub and all that shit. And he used to be dirty, stinking and shit like that. So that was like literally his nickname, was Dirty. Then they came with the whole bastard and all other shit. So like, you know, the myth, the mythology is already there. It doesn't need to be serialized anymore. That's the great story about them. You can write it word verbatim, and their story's probably iller than even what we're watching now. But the thing about the show for all us like fans and stuff is like they didn't really talk about this period of time in their lives, except in a couple of lyrics. But they never would sit down in an interview and talk about pre-36, except in just street terms. Yeah, we was out there doing what it do, you know, slinging and
what if this is the moment?
This could
We're not happy to have the moment.
No, what I'm saying is some of it is, and some of it just don't make sense if you know otherwise. Okay, so one thing I'm online is bothering me, but I don't remember. What's the machine that he goes into the store and fawns over?
12.
It's the SP12.
SP1200.
It's the SP12. Okay. All of the Wu beats were made on the ASR. So everybody online is banging, oh, that's not the right machine. He didn't. And I'm like, oh, they're driving me nuts. And it makes me start thinking. You know what I mean? I'm trying.
Driving me nuts.
You should see, like, they was like, you should see it. You should see it. It's really something for like.
Don't let them ruin this experience. This is like looking for things you can't actually verify.
No, right? It's been a great Wu year, but it's still a little hokey. The show is hokey. It could be a lot more serious. It just is, to me. But what do y'all think of Ray and Meth? Or, you know, we got a rapper, Dave East, playing Method Man.
Mm-hmm.
We got the kid from Dope, playing Shamik. So, too many scenes with the fronts in the mouth. I know it's for
why the fronts are purposes. So big.
I think because it's a prop and not fronts.
Okay, but that doesn't make sense to do. Get the fucking grill.
I know they didn't want to pay nobody. They could have went right on 145th and got a real one.
Hulu is producing this show. They can afford a fucking grill. Like that doesn't make sense.
That thing is so.
They
much
could also
in the way
afford better ones, but he can't speak.
What you mean, son?
He can't speak,
son.
Right.
So here's another myth about Wu that I love talking about. When they were younger, like first couple of songs and all that shit, us as fans, we used to be obsessed. But I remember them doing all these interviews with these fucking fang fronts in their mouth. And I remember making up this myth about, RZA raps that way because he got a speech impediment, but also he records his songs with his fangs in, yo. That's why he's standing perpendicular to the square. I don't know. And so, like, you know.
What is the matter with you?
Who's that weird stuff?
What is the matter with you?
And she loved the APHNN spray. You love your rock king, you know.
Oh my God, I'm fucking dead.
But no, what do y'all think about now that we go in a circle, Ray and Shotgun?
I think
I'll be quick because
go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry. I am shocked that Dave East is doing a good job. Like does he act? I didn't know he acted.
I think this is his first thing.
Yeah.
I think it's his first. I mean, he has a face for it. You know what I mean? Like he has.
He's got a face for the camera.
Well, I mean, the game passed on it. Now, you know, you go with the light skinned manicure guy.
I'm sorry. Who
passed
on
on you what? Said the game passed on it?
The game, they wanted him in movies. He's in Belly Part 2. They wanted him to be a superstar.
Oh, I thought you were saying they wanted him to be Meth.
I was like, yeah, he kind of.
No. I meant the acting, the rapper actor. The game was the next one up. if you ask me. Like, they wanted him to do it. And I think, he's the game. So
I'm glad that
goes.
happened. I'm very happy that.
I don't know what that means. He's the game. Like,
he's the game. Do you see how he acts sometimes?
yeah, he's the worst.
Yeah.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I
Anyway.
just think he was a terrible actor. Like, I mean, not only are you just the game, but like, also, were you good at it? Nah. Like, somebody can want something all day and it just never work out. Anyway, JV's doing a great job, in my opinion. Appreciate the portrayal thus far. And I feel the same way, basically, about our man from Dope, who I just feel like a great job for what you got. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would the Raekwon portrayal be better if they had somebody that physically looked like him?
Yes, absolutely. It's too much of a characteristic for him.
Yeah.
It's who
he was the
is.
shortest.
He's the short, fat one.
And he had a whole presence to him. Raekwon had a presence to him, even though there were other ones taller and bigger. But when he's talking, you see this right here, God? This is how they do it.
And he's fresh as fuck, though. He's fresh as fuck. And my man's is not being as fresh as Raekwon.
I want to say this, though. I agree. Remember, he's sleeping on the roof. We're only doing episode 1.
I understand.
I'm not to get too far ahead. Not to get too far ahead.
Listen. We purposely didn't watch episode 6, so we wouldn't have any bleed overs. We purposely.
Well, I have something.
We'll try not
he's
to.
Wearing, and it's out of time, so I don't know when. He's wearing a white tarantula. That really sells the look at one point in the show. I'm not gonna tell y'all what episode, but he's wearing the chain with the white tarantula. And I'm like, you know what? You're looking like Raekwon now. Like, it's like every episode. I don't know if they got.
You're doing too much, Castro.
Yeah, it's literally the next episode.
Actually, here's the thing. There are parameters with I don't mean to jump ahead. The way that I don't mean to jump ahead.
There was nothing. There's nothing
Excuse me, sir. Objection.
Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time.
Let me jump ahead only works within the parameters of what we're talking about. You know, when we're in Game of Thrones episodes, you don't say, let me jump ahead to season 8, right? It's let me jump ahead to a part in that same episode that we're talking about. You do not get to move forward in the series. We're 1 to 5 right here. You have to give me your assessment of the portrayal of Raekwon from 1 to 5, not what it could be or what it might be later.
Okay. Oh. Duly noted.
Thank you.
I'm going back to my trailer with my head down.
No.
All right.
Come back here.
We're in agreement then that Raekwon is a hard sell, and somebody that physically represented Raekwon would be a better acting. Be damned, would be a better sell for his character.
I agree with that, but I also say that this dude is doing as best as he possibly can, and he's doing a fantastic job.
I agree.
There are just things
get a short, stubby street nigga from New York, some unknown nigga, he would act like Raekwon. You get what I'm saying? If they went scouting in New York for an uptown nigga that looked like Raekwon, he would have been able to pull it off.
But does that mean he's an actor and can pull the lines off? You know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
we got to remember. All
right, I will say this. Wait.
What's that?
We can't separate.
What's that?
The Wire benefited from using locals throughout their cast.
Successfully.
And this might have done the same thing. Like, and not just locals, y'all. Staten Island motherfuckers. They are different cats. If they just got one or two, not a lot.
Even changed.
What?
Staten Island even the same Staten Island.
Now.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Can I just interrupt real quick? Oh no, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to have interrupted that point. You're right. They would be scouting now, and those people aren't the same as they were then, so it wouldn't be as natural as what you're expecting it to be.
Right, and I was also going to say this is the same guy that gave us the New Edition joint, and that was dead on. So I don't want to think that he doesn't know how to cast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure they went looking
let me bring a
for
broader
someone
point.
that could possibly look physically more like Raekwon, but if you got to lean on who's going to be able to carry, exactly. Go ahead.
Let's broach a broader point with that one feeds into. How do y'all think the show is? And we're gonna keep on. There's a couple more characters. How do y'all think the show is doing with the '90s? Like portraying the '90s.
Oh,
you want to save that for Easter eggs?
Say that for Easter eggs.
Or
good grief.
How do you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whew.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Wait.
All right. So Ray needs some work, and
MJ had a point. MJ had a point
yes.
she was gonna make.
I don't remember now.
Oh, okay.
You sure?
Yeah. It'll come to me in like 7 minutes, and then I'll interrupt on accident.
All right. Next two characters are Jizza and Power.
Hmm.
Let me start.
Okay.
Let me start. Power is cool, but man, they should have just cast the real Power. He is such a unique cat with a voice like nobody can really do Power, but this guy's doing a decent job of portraying what Power was for them. But like, if y'all know Power, if you listen to him talk or anything, it's like he's an impressive cat. So that they could have just cast him and shit.
He'd look old as shit, but yeah, I guess that could have worked.
Yeah, no, now. And Jizza, I'm fine with Jizza.
Yeah.
I'm neither here nor there with Mr. Grace.
I don't really have, but they're fine. I don't have a frame of reference, really.
Mm-hmm.
The Jizza was just like boring to me, so I didn't really pay attention.
You mean in real life? Or in the show?
Yeah. No, in real life.
Oh.
So I just never paid attention.
Oh yeah, that's not surprising to hear. I know a lot of people that didn't like the Jizza as much as we would have thought, being from the Northeast, we would have thought people would like them. Like Jizza's like low on people's Wu-Tang list, like low, like he's down there with Deck on some real shit. Who's unfortunately too low on the list, but yeah, people don't really fuck with Jizza like that. So it didn't surprise me that this reaction doesn't surprise me, and we haven't really been given anything in the series to really be like, oh shit, Jizza killing it. Now the performances, like when them dudes started rhyming, they were hitting it, they were nailing it, like. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. That was dead on. But yeah, we don't have enough of the Jizza right now to really be like, this is dead on. This is great. There are little things here and there, him making the science references and all of that. That give us an indicator of who we have on the screen. But other than that, it's not too much really to go off of. Yeah.
Remember, these are pre-singles.
Right.
Before
everything.
Before everything. So let's take the Jizza, his cousin, and roll into the other. Let's just wrap these up. The Diggs family and the Coles family. Mm-hmm. Coles family being Dennis's family. Those are the families we're seeing. I think the show is making a good point to show the familial side of it. It is well known that, Riz's family was a drug dealing family, and that was the source of income. Mm-hmm. And the headaches that come with that. Don't let anybody say like family selling drugs is headaches, like just like any other family business and shit. I like the mom. I like the sister. Because I like people showing that Ghostface and her have like 4 kids to come and shit like that. So that was pretty dope. And I'm cool. I like the Diggs family. It seems like a little realistic set. Mm-hmm. They seem like they belong in that world. And then Ghostface family is really just more pulling back the curtain. We didn't know his brothers were that much dependent on him.
Yeah.
And mom was just out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I also want to add to that Raekwon's family. They're interesting too. Shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's funny that the authors incarcerated Scarfaces would come from, such a religious background for real.
Right. Like when he was
what y'all think of the inclusion of the family members? So he was out in the street. What's up?
Can you give us a little bit more on Raekwon's family? Because I don't know.
You'll remember, babe. They
Oh, and the show, you didn't notice in the show they're like rich.
Yeah, like Bobby had called
Just,
looking for him, and they were like, he ain't been here in months, and that's because he was.
Oh,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were sitting there watching TV, chilling in the crib.
So he's willingly suffering just to keep his position on the street.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was first watching, I was like, damn, I forgot. Not forgot, but I was like, damn, this is rough. And I'm like, you go fuck home, man.
You had that option.
I got. Right. I need a better I need more of that family dynamic now.
Door. Go home, close the door, and I mean, probably maybe a Bible thumper, maybe you don't hear it and shit, but go home, close the door, and open the window,
right.
But then it also shows you, because of that, he has that dependence on power, to go along with everything and shit like that.
Right.
You see, what I like about the character, he's showing his hesitancy, and not so much that he doesn't want to do what they're doing. I don't think he sees any point in what they're doing to further him.
Right.
He won't say it out loud, but he's like, we're just doing, spinning the wheels. He wants something with a little more purpose. So I think the rapping will just snatch him all the way up because that's more powerful. Like Raekwon wants to make a moment. Like, in the first 5 episodes, we see him trying to get girls' attention, and they always distracted by some rap. You know what I'm saying? They could care what he's talking about. They, they keep asking him, heard the next song. So But Morg, what do you think about the family's inclusion in the story and on the show?
I mean, I love it.
The brother, all that shit.
I love it. I love the little brother. I love the mom. I mean, I love her portrayal. I don't necessarily love her. And to see that Ghost was dealing with all of that, like and everything else, like, you know what I mean? Like that's
a lot, right?
It's so much. That's so fucking much. Like that's not the normal you have a stressful life. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can see why he snaps. You can see why certain shit, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot. Mm-hmm. That feels like a good explanation to me on why he could have been ever, out there wilding all the time. Yeah. Like that's crazy.
And I like that it shows that he doesn't just throw his hands up and abandon them because it's difficult. Like he's still there. He's still trying to be supportive and help. He took that seriously. Like any kid in the street could just go out there. I'm not going home. That's too much. But he knows, and not just it's too much. He knows his mom is not doing it. She can't take it. So
she won't do it. Right. If he's there or not, it's just not gonna matter to her.
Right. So you're not gonna leave your brothers just to fend. Right. So that's kind of dope.
I love it. All of this I think gives me a bigger appreciation for the people that they are. So I think it's really smart that they're including that.
Agreed.
Indeed. And then we got some auxiliary characters like Hayes and Josh's son.
So can I say something stupid? Or I don't know if it's stupid, but I thought that Josh's son was gonna maybe be you God, and then I was like, oh nope, he's not.
Same.
Well, it's not stupid because I thought Hayes was you God before I knew he wasn't in it. And then also Josh's son was way too he seemed like a character, like whether that's a real person or not. They made him come on to the scene, live and direct. And Hayes actually is. I'm not talking about it now. We're talking about the first half. But he is based on an actual real person. And okay. Actually, I actually read up on him. And went down with him. You know. But again, Hayes to me comes across as a little piece of him could be the you God, like getting a pack. When they go to get not them sitting holding court with bodyguards on either side, but they did go back to you God to re-up a bunch. So that part of it could have been the you God part. All right, now that we're done with all of this introductory yes, Ambush. What do you think about the auxiliary characters? Anybody else?
I'm starting to like Hayes a little bit more. I'm starting to tolerate him a little bit more. Josh's son,
he has kind of a purpose, like a street purpose. Like he's there for a reason and shit, right?
And Josh's son, I'm I'm curious to learn more about him in real life. Like, what was the point? What was the purpose of making sure he was included? Was it to shoot a lynch to make that like the catalyst for the additional division between the crew? Like, did that really play out that way?
Let's not think in a specific way. Let's just say that Jocelyn represented all of their homies that were getting murdered around there. Because they always say they lost a lot of friends.
Okay.
So I don't know if it would work narratively to show like 5 or 6 of them get murdered, but to show one cat, I think everybody. From what I'm pretty sure he represents everybody that was just getting taken out. Because they say that all the time. They say they lost a lot of friends. So like people they were growing up with. I don't know I don't know specifically, but the 80s in New York, shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Like it just was.
Right.
Like so. You definitely can start high school with a bunch of kids, and remember they did go to school. They weren't just like dropouts like everybody thinks of in Juice. But by senior year, some of them cats ain't around no more. And so I think Jocelyn definitely would rep that. And of course, they show a cat that tried to get too big for his britches, try to make a quick lick. Everybody was doing that back then, and so somebody shining, try to make a quick lick. You know what I'm saying? And then had the unfortunate of breaking in on somebody recording. Y'all see how big that camera was?
Right.
Yo.
Definitely had one of them. Definitely.
Giant. I hope you. Yeah. Anyway.
Because the whole VHS tape fit in there.
Yeah.
It was the whole VHS show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pop out all that metal and
just
shit.
Pop it out and put it in the VCR. Yeah, definitely. Hold John.
So I'm going to change the next section and ask the question a little differently. Because we've been talking about it, and maybe let's just talk the lore and the accuracy of this tale. Do y'all like how it's being presented? And how helpful do y'all think this show is to the Wu canon?
I think the show's helpful. I'm finding it helpful in the way of just getting a better understanding of the situation and the environment they grew up in. Period. Just the example you just gave with Josh's son being an embodiment of all of their friends and how that affected all of them. I think that's a pretty good example right there. And then also, seeing Ghost's brothers and just the situation that all of them grew up in. Yeah, I think this is dope as hell. I think it's very helpful. It does make me curious to see the Mike Cement documentary and to finish reading RZA's book, because I definitely grabbed that. I got to the point where he went down south, and then kind of need to come back to
Ohio shit.
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, I think this nice. I think it's dope. I think it's dope, man. I think it's
Nice. Morg?
No, I don't really have anything for this. This one's on y'all. I don't have a bunch of
let me ask you.
I don't know the backgrounds.
Well, how helpful is this show for you being not steeped in the lore? Like, how helpful is this for you to get to know Wu?
I like it.
Fandom?
It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah. It's making me more curious, for sure.
All right. So then let's break this down. It's called Wu-Tang, but it also has a subtitle, and they're calling it An American Saga. Why do you think they included that subtitle? What do you think the show is trying to represent?
I think it's meant to represent the other side of the coin. That is part of the American story that's untold. That isn't, the more popular, properly promoted experience of people growing up in that time period. It's like you you compared it to like was it? Well, you said Lean on Me, but this is like Stand By Me. You know what I'm saying? This is what we were going through. This is the other side of that. So yeah, I think that was a good choice.
Yeah, I think that including the word American in the title, so like when you search for it, you'll see it, is that's exactly what it is. This is a show and a message about inclusion. Like these are Americans too.
Right.
They found their way out of the gutter. They're no better than somebody that invents the sham wow or is in their in their garage making Microsoft for Amazon. These kids got in their garage and made something too. And that's what I like, that they're representing the intuitiveness of getting out of a situation that's not doing anybody any favors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they lived in the ghetto, but they were like, this ain't the lick. You know what I mean? My mom's struggling. I love the sense of family in the show,
right.
Including the family members, extended family, but just that sense of family. And Saga, I like to using that word. That this is like this is a story to be told, like on some Star Wars shit.
So
you know what I mean?
With the use of that word, doesn't that give you a better idea of the game plan of this being more than just one season? Could one season actually be a saga? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't that kind of spell it out that this is supposed to play out a little bit longer?
If they do time jumps, if they do episode 7 is 36, episode 8 and 9 is Wu-Tang Forever, and
that pace change would be something we've seen play out in other shows that would be terrible. That would be horrid.
It's a horrible effect.
Oh my God! Right,
definitely. But
like we get to episode 8 and somebody wake up out of nap and all of this was a dream. Like, we don't need none of that shit.
And they're in Hawaii.
Right, right. Don't nobody need none of that shit.
Busta Rhymes is waking them up. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, for all intents and purposes, like we said earlier, it just seems like they're getting to, like, one the twins unite moment where they all put their W's in a circle. So, Morg, did you have any thoughts on the matter?
I think that I didn't think about the title at all until you just explained why it was good. And like, I just kept calling it like the Wu-Tang show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I don't think I've been like, let's watch Wu-Tang and American Saga. And I didn't really think about that title. And when I say it, it sounds like it doesn't fit. And the way you described it made it make all the sense in the world. And like, what else would you call it? So, yeah, like everything you said.
And it was definitely deliberate.
Oh,
they
yeah.
probably went over it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, back to the river,
right,
right?
Exactly. But we're answering. We're talking all about it all at once. Well, where do y'all see this plot going? I mean, even though we know the history.
No idea.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we know what's going to happen, it's one of those things.
I don't need.
We know
we know, but like right now, I have no idea if this goes. If, like you said, that the last episode is they put their fists together and they're like, we're finally a team. That could happen. I think I would be annoyed if that happens, but it could happen. And
where would you want them to get to, more? Would you want them to get all the way into 36 chambers, or where would you want them to get to for you to be satisfied with it? With season 1 as a full season?
I don't know. Maybe even just recording it. You know what I mean? Like,
okay. Right.
Or it being done, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know how far off we are from that, so I'm not as consumed with the timeline, I think, as most, like, real Wu fans. I don't know how far away we are from that, but it doesn't, to me, it shouldn't be the end of it, be like, we're finally a group. If we have to spend 9 episodes of them, like, not knowing that they're rapping together, I don't want to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't work.
I don't.
I mean, but this is what 8 Mile.
I need some understanding how they ever become friends. I need maybe 3 episodes devoted to that. Like, because you got to make a lot of shit make sense.
Right.
The way it's being told.
Right. So it can't.
If that's way far off, like, who is that way far off to? Or are they just all like, it's no big deal?
Think of 8 Mile, like, and like, if you remember 8 Mile, there was really no resolution at the end of it. Uganda just goes home.
Right.
To like
I think
period.
We're in for that.
But this isn't a movie that ends like that. You know what I mean? This is a show that better. It's like you got to give us more than that. If you're going into a second season, cool, all deal. But if you end that way and this is it, I'd be super pissed.
Nah, yeah. So I agree. The way this is set up in the pacing, they don't have a choice but to give us less, to give us anything less than 2 or 3 seasons on some real shit. Like the way this is paced right now, and it's set up in a way that if they get the public reaction they want, this can be huge. Because again, at this pacing, nobody should the first 2 deals are Jizza and RZA. That shouldn't be happening if we're moving at this pace until halfway through the second season. So what we end up getting is we're getting all the other people that are existing in hip hop.
Oh, they're going to have to make some jumps.
We're getting all the other people.
They have to make jumps though.
Jesus, give me
there's no way to do this without some jumps.
Give me a sec. We're getting all the other people that are existing in that orbit, all the other MCs and artists. There's an opportunity to put them within the story. The same way they mention Tribe in high school. Like, being able to play all of these different situations out. I think if this was The Wire and you didn't know where the story ended, you wouldn't be rushing through the seasons. You wouldn't be like, tell me the story.
True.
So I feel like this is an opportunity to just tell the story. This doesn't have to be rushed because we know who these guys are today. This can really be played out, and they can they can integrate a lot. They can tell a lot of stories through this at continuing at this pace. Changing the pace in either direction would fuck up the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we're only halfway through. There's definitely other like dramatic tricks that they could do. Maybe a small jump, maybe less flashbacks, or maybe a.
How many episodes was Divine locked up
time
for?
has passed when they come back.
How many episodes was Divine locked up for?
2.5.
Right.
Like 2.5.
Right. And really, like, as you're telling that story, that's a really quick. That's real quick. You're like, yeah, and then Divine.
That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, you could be like, and Divine was locked up for a minute, and then when he got out, like, no, they turned that into 2.5 episodes, and him being off the scene, and the other characters evolving.
Perspective is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You're right. You're totally right.
Yeah.
And you're both sort of saying the same thing, because the idea of a saga being something that is not the quick retelling. Like I misunderstood this whole situation from the jump, and when I was like 3 episodes in, I thought it was only like 5 or 6 episodes total.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever was up, yeah. I thought it was like a mini series or something. I was just not. I did not know about it until we watched the first episode. So that gives you some sort of idea of how I liked it. I still like it, but I liked it. I was intrigued. I felt like I was learning more, and I had no idea what kind of timeline this was. At 3 episodes in, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know if that's good or bad in the way that like, if Wu heads feel disrespected if they don't get a certain amount of time, or they spend too much time on things you don't think are relevant. But like, so far so fucking good.
Right.
For someone who doesn't know that shit, you know?
Right. We got a flash of Capadonna. We got no respect to deck. Like, this is super early. Like we need to see how, like, the fact that there is so much conflict right now. We got to see how this plays out. They gotta pace it and make it real for them to all finally get on the same page. You can't rush that shit. You just can't. Like,
this is a good point.
Yeah.
I'm rushing it because I want to know. How the fuck did that ever happen?
Yo, Castro, within like the first 2 episodes, she was like, how did they end up in the same group? They're trying to kill each other.
How could they be friends?
Right.
How could they be friends?
Like, how could y'all possibly? And then and that's the thing about Ray and Ghost. they're like best friends.
Best
They
friends.
best in the group.
Super
they
besties.
Start doing songs together, and Raekwon's first album is a Ghost and Ray album.
Right.
They all admit that. It's
right.
a group album, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting for them to, but I guess maybe that's the kismet. Like, we used to hate each other, but as soon as we get together, we're like the best of lyrical
it's
friends.
unstoppable.
Like, we fit like glove in hand and shit. So
yeah.
That's a curious, oddity. I'm dying for it too, and they're sure enough taking their fucking time. They're sure taking their time. All right, let's keep it sliding. Compared to recent biopics, because this seems like the theme, right? Even though this one came about from it being like a Wu Renaissance year, as opposed to it seemed like everybody got a biopic. New Edition, Miss Chalet. Straight out of Compton, started a nice trend and streak. So how do you think this one holds up in terms of like being in this pantheon of musical icon retelling?
Well, I find it interesting that it's the only one that's an actual series so far.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else has been
New Edition was a
mini-series. That's 4 episodes.
Yeah.
They were able to tell their story from childhood all the way to adulthood with a lot of stuff in between.
With different actors.
4 episodes, right. Like, this is a series. And understanding now that it doesn't have to be, but I assume there's a plan for a second season. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we've seen that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think they'll recast them like other ones, but I think they'll grow them up at least, like make them grow in their facial hair and shit like you.
Yeah. Sure,
they go deep.
But I'm saying either way, we haven't seen that before, right? It's been a movie or a miniseries.
No.
Right.
No. I mean, the closest it comes to, really tell you the truth, is the Partridge Family.
It's
like
the Partridge Family?
Sustained television show. Yeah, in terms of sustained television show based on a musical act.
Yeah.
It's only been a Partridge Family. Like, if this goes into multiple seasons like we think.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think it's great for their canon. Just another like little slice of pie.
I feel like this is ultimately what like anyone would want though, right? Like, because this is uncharted territory, especially for hip hop retelling. This is what anybody would want. Like, wouldn't Flavor Unit want the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, to be able to tell that story over seasons, that would be amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course. And everybody tries it. I heard after the Straight Outta Compton, there's a 3-6 Mafia. That's actually coming out.
That's gonna be wild. I want to see that.
Lil Boozy doing a movie.
I'm waiting
about
to
his
be
life.
Completely educated on 3-6 Mafia through this project. Completely.
Oh, there's a whole and they got deep retelling.
I can't wait.
How they took over them clubs down there. They started a whole dance movement. Like 3-6 is tight, and then they got their business right.
Mm-hmm.
So hell yeah. All right, we're gonna go to Ambush's favorite part of the show.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Did anybody notice or pick up any Easter eggs?
Okay.
Ambush, if you can enlighten.
Dun, dun, dun.
So before before I started looking at them as Easter eggs, there were just certain things that were happening that was just like, oh, they get it. Oh, they're doing it right. Oh, this is amazing. And I remember tweeting when I first started watching it, within the first 30 seconds, I was like, it's a 4-door MPV. Okay, I'm in. I'm locked in. Whatever's going to happen after this, it's going to be greatness. They knew what the vehicle of choice was, and it's never been a question. 4-door MPV.
This man said to me, look at the car, man. You got the car right.
Castro, you remember why? You remember why we had to have the 4-door MPV?
From the
because that was the
lyric?
Listen, the MPV was the minivan, so you could put a bunch of people in it, but you had the 4 doors so everybody could jump out at once. Like that was the pull up on you.
Yeah, the jump up. But I mean, I wasn't driving, so like, yeah. But I get that.
Yeah,
we wasn't driving back then, but I get that. Yeah, the jump. I was gonna say because for the jump out and the back too. That back hat.
Yep, and the back.
So, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. All right, so Easter eggs. The setup in the basement of Meth vs. Chef. I thought that was dope as hell because they actually had them.
Oh, I didn't even pick up that was.
Yeah, they actually had them
that was dope.
with Meth on the left and Chef on the right. I was like, I'm literally looking at Meth vs. Chef right now. This is amazing. That was dope.
Dope.
What's the name's Dennis's rhyme book had the arsonist on it. And I was like, wait a minute. I do remember him saying, referring to himself as the arsonist. I burn with my pen regardless. So little things like that would just kept popping up. The All In Together episode ended with them all in together.
That was chills. I got chills doing that thing at the end. They was spinning the camera around.
Right.
I got chills.
So
because
that was
All In Together now is a very like historic routine for them that they transmuted into hooks a little later. Like a lot of their shit is like they take old Aretha Franklin hooks and change the word. You wouldn't even notice it. So All In Together was this routine that three of them would always do. Because they all three performed with each other. They're cousins. Right. So that was the thing before we got together. And then I think they used it All In Together now as part of their slang, if you're familiar, on Method Man's album. And it's and they also reused that routine to do some hooks later on.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like for Daytona or something like that.
But yeah, like, and they even like Castro was saying, they performed as a group, like All In Together now. Like that was their joint. So that was dope. Definitely was feeling the yellow cassette tapes. That was perfect.
Yo,
that was so ill. And then my favorite one. So I can't remember what led me to it, but I was listening to some playlist on Tidal, and Wu-Tang's Red Bull came on. And you remember the hook for that? Castro, that's the joint where they keep looping Ray saying it's just a hobby that I picked up in the lobby.
In the lobby. Yeah.
So when right. So then that
Yeah.
last episode when they're freestyling in the lobby and Ray's just walking through, it hit me. I was like, it's just a hobby that I picked up in the lobby. I was like, oh my god, they out here killing me. They're killing me. I'm just falling all over the place.
I got one that's real obscure. When Dennis was talking to Bobby and you saw the little kids walking through the park. And they all at once, they were talking about something, and all of them at the same time said, "Sue."
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I was confused. I was like, wait, what is happening? What are these little kids doing? Oh, man. Yeah.
So, like, it just goes to show you that the culture and the slang was skin deep. It was no affront to it. And so, like, all of this stuff was real. And again, they if you watch their biopics, the other forms, they'll tell you like they thought Staten Island was considered like the forgotten borough. When a rapper would come through, like I think they show a couple of rappers. Like keep in mind, like I want our listeners and all y'all keep track of how many rappers they show. They show like rappers with a sign come through Staten Island.
That Raekwon was good. Dude
like
that played Raekwon killed that. I mean, I played Rakim.
Yeah.
Dude that played Rakim killed that.
Rakim.
Yeah, that was on point.
Just try to pay attention to like current rappers. So we'll see.
Well, they made a point of saying too that nobody comes here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like they made a big point of that.
Because, all right,
niggas do not come here.
It's a New Yorker thing. You have to ride a boat 30 minutes to get over there, and then you catch. Nobody was doing that shit.
Right.
People think
you gotta ride a boat.
The ferry.
Like it's a ferry. Number one.
You gotta take a
like that's
boat,
not.
Yo. Yeah, but that shit.
Oh my god.
What you talking about?
You guys are just unbearable.
Water, man. What the hell is that thing doing over there anyway? Ain't no bridge or a tunnel. No, ain't nobody going over there right now. That take your whole day. Like, let me tell you something. New York is not no free-flowing information highway and shit. Like, if I gotta go to fucking the Bronx, that's my whole day. I'm not going up there. You're gonna meet me in Midtown or something. Everybody thinks like going to Queens is your whole day. You can't do nothing else because you got to spend the rest of the day getting back. Like, there are literally parts of New York that you'll take an hour to get to. Just to get there, it takes a fucking hour. Everybody want to ask me about East Flatbush and do I know Shippy? No, man, I never even went to that side of Brooklyn, and I'm from Brooklyn. So,
oh my God.
Staten Island was out of bounds, yo. I barely went to Roosevelt Island. That's where the fucking Statue of Liberty is at. And why am I getting on this boat? Where's the train at, man? When the train stops, so do I, man.
Wow.
Super accurate. Super accurate.
Okay.
The Easter eggs there.
Yeah, that's it. So rewatchability. Yeah.
Yeah. So do we recommend this to our listeners? Yes.
Absolutely.
We recommend it.
Definitely yes.
Absolutely.
For any super woo head, it is so bad it's good. I'll tell them that's how you should watch it. And hopefully it gets better. See, here's another thing. Because it's the RZA, Morgan, I'm telling you this for some insight. If this season completes, RZA won't learn anything from this season to apply to next. It's not like Breaking Bad or The Wire. He'll keep doing this shit. He won't get better. He's the RZA. Oh,
okay, can you we wrap up? Before we wrap up, I just need a better understanding on. I wouldn't call it hatred for the RZA, but like just the kind of contempt that's there.
It's okay. So it's like, Bobby. It's
digital.
It's very heartwarming.
I mean, because you guys are talking about him the way I think about him. And
this is our family member. We will never toss him out.
Hold up.
Yeah,
she said we're talking about him the way she thinks about
him. The way he thinks about
the perception you have. Yeah,
like
funny.
he's a bunch of jokes. Yeah, like
This is all right. RZA is the epitome of overstimulating. He does stuff and he overstimulates himself when he loses touch.
Oh, wait, Castro, wait. Like, pause.
Yeah.
Pause. It's a very one-word explanation. Before there was the internet and all of that, what you're seeing now is hip-hop Hotep. He's just a Hotep, babe. He's just a Hotep. He was one of the most...
went from analog to digital.
Yeah.
Literally, he went from analog to digital, like literally.
Yeah, full Hotep.
And he got turned out. Like, for instance, RZA can never, and we actually did an episode on him on my other pod, can never really produce the way he used to. In fact, his closest to it was this beat he did for Earl called Molasses, because he knows too much now.
Yeah.
He can't make happy mistakes.
He can't.
He knows how to put stuff in key. He knows what instrument to use instead of a substitute because he doesn't have anything else. So all of that dusty ingenuity has been gone. It's too clean. It's too clean. He shaves his mustache. When he made all those Wu-Tang beats, he was literally, like, that's not a myth. He was literally down in that basement for weeks, not washing, not changing, not cutting his hair, not doing anything. Just in a zone, cranking out criminology, incarcerated. Yeah. All the shit was made around the same time. To Cal, Method, they're cranking them all out.
Yeah.
He lost that touch. He's not in touch with that ether anymore. So we make fun of him because he kind of thinks he still is. He's very much whitewashed by the film industry. Like, think about it.
It's like he takes himself too seriously.
Where you plucking sitars, ding, ding, rather than like programming some banging shit.
Right.
You know, I'd rather have a guitar here than a sample guitar.
You got to drop them in, B.
Nah, I love Bobby Digital. So yeah, that's our thing with him. We love hating him, we'll never get rid of him, but he is totally not who the fuck he used to be.
Got it. Solid.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, it's definitely not.
Well, I think this is a good start.
It's a great start.
We'll see how this thing concludes, and we'll talk about seasons to come, possibilities. Another thing we have to worry about, there has been no announcement about a renewal or a second season.
I know.
Usually, in this day and age, you hear that shit before seasons even come out sometimes, or after episode 2, depending on the reaction. So I don't know how the ratings are, because Hulu is different, just like Netflix, so we might not know. But Hulu is also one to drop a series, like in the middle of a storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they'll just be like, that's done. Like, and nobody else will pick it up and finish the story. They'll do that. So,
and they're slow.
For real?
They're slow with announcements too.
Yeah, they got this show called Freakish. They don't tell you that shit just canceled. It's gone. It was 2 seasons. It was like a cliffhanger on that second season. It's gone. actors are doing something different. Shit, one of the actors is in Snowfall. Like, he done. He's older as shit now. Like, but yeah, they'll just drop something more. They won't tell you. That shit just
in both directions. They'll just drop a second season on you too and not tell you. Because I swear, Castle Rock came out. I thought Castle Rock was done. I wanted
Castle
the
Rock
second
is
season.
back, and I still gotta watch the first season.
It's like, wait, what?
In my queue. Yep.
I saw a trailer for season 2. I said, wait, what? What's happening? Okay,
I've been watching Attack on Titan on Hulu for like 5, 6 years now. Going on my 6th year, and they never tell you. You gotta always look on. But yeah, so what I say is cherish what we have. Yeah. I think this is what I keep saying, the canon part, because this is just like another Wu figurine. Now we got a show. Like, I tell people all the time, this show reminds me of there was a show in the 80s. It was on Saturday mornings. It was called Pro Stars. I don't know if you remember. Morg does. And it had Wayne Gretzky, Bo Jackson, and Michael Jordan in it.
Oh my god!
And they were like cartoon superheroes. Yes. And what it did was it made it palatable. They went and solved cases, and then they saved the kid and then tell you something. So even if you never watched hockey or baseball and football for Bo Jackson or basketball, you knew about these guys because they were kind of stars anyway, and they gave you an insight that you would just make up a character of them. Like, Jordan is this, rocket boot guy that comes and saves the day. Wayne Gretzky has quips, so you get to learn them whether you wanted to or not. And this is what this Wu show is doing by making it part of American canon, like, Family Matters or some shit. And you'll just watch it, and you'll come to find out about it in a more sugar-coated, easy-to-swallow way. So that's what I like about it. And it reminds me of that show. I don't know why, but that show, just because, the show, like more, the show, they weren't playing sports on the show. They just used their sports for their powers and shit. So it's just another way to put it in a form where maybe somebody they don't like sports. Now they're going to like them. Whether you know what I'm saying? So you don't like Wu-Tang or rap, but you might like this show that's being portrayed about these Wu-Tang rappers.
Right.
So, hopefully the music improves, but hey, y'all have to look for it. We love you, Rakim.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We gotta wait for that to happen.
And then what's genius?
Pass the bone. Pass the bone.
Yeah. Oh, and there's another Doomy song. There's another song. They're both about girls.
Babe, on the Jizz's first album, it was the album was called Pass the Bone. And he had a song. He had a song on that album called "Stay Out of Bars."
Stay out of Mars.
Stay out of bars.
Bars.
Stay out of bars.
Oh, bars.
Yeah. Stay out of.
Okay.
Stay out of the bars. Stay out of bars. I was like, wait, what? I remember going back to get this album. Like, this is the first Jizza joint. This joint gonna be crazy. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be all the. This is the most boring album I have ever heard. I was like, wait, what is going on? I said, oh, shit. This nigga got a song called Stay Out of Bars.
You'll find out they were super early 90s hip-hop group with that. There's a song about girls. Like, like everybody had it. They were doing it. And so when you learn about them later and find out that they actually did songs like that.
Right.
Like they did a song like "What Your Man Got to Do with Me." Like they have those.
I mean, that's not that surprising to me.
Like the Prince Rakim shit.
It is because they never made a song about girls like that ever again. But they have one. The fact that they have one.
They did it. They did it.
No, but it's not like that. Like it's not like.
But none of them.
Song.
He was definitely trying to be LL Cool J back then.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have one. You got your girl song. Because those were the prototypical singles.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If you listen to the album, there's a lot.
So that's what I'm saying.
Style on that.
That's not that surprising that they would have that.
Yeah. To make those singles.
Oh man.
You gotta do it. As a surface level Wu-Tang fan, this has been really fun so far.
Nice.
All right, though.
Nice.
All right, son. Just make sure Ghostface don't flip the camera off, son, before we finish recording, son. Make sure he presses all the buttons, son. Bobby, what the fuck, son?
Gonna let this nigga dish you?
I am from your hood, this Stapleton nigga. That's what you're gonna do, let a Stapleton nigga. Fuck with you, Bobby. And then you got Raekwon coming in. Where's your balls, Bobby? Where's your balls, Bobby? Where's the Inspector Deck? All right, that's it. All right, I want to say this.
Okay, good night.
I'm saying it. No, I'm saying it.
What?
Stop being ham-fisted with how they name each other and shit like that, or how it comes out. When fucking Jizza met them, it was like, yo, it's my cousin, Jizza, cousin Gary. That's my cousin. At the funeral. Cousin. At the cousin funeral. Like they said it something, okay, he's your cousin. All
hey,
right.
yo, cousin.
It's just, you know, they have to do it like
hey,
like,
cousin.
like they might as well do with APHNN. Hey, man, you're looking old. Yeah, because I'm old and a bastard. Like, don't do that. Like, I hate when they do that. Like, they did it. No, they did it. And there's one that's coming later that's worse. But the worst one they've done so far, and I'm gonna point out the I watched this review show. When they say the title of the movie, they always go roll credits. You know, they'll say it out loud. So Raekwon was in Cooking the Crack. Oh man, you handling that like a chef. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're saying. No. Somebody stop me. Go back. I wish you would
nailed it.
Now, so you can shoot yourself.
Nailed it.
All right. Chef.
So you handling that
Oh
like
my
a
God!
chef.
Like don't be ham for yeah. Everybody, yeah. He did. He's like, yeah.
Oh my God!
You handle it like a chef. You did. It's just so ham-fisted. Roll credits. You know, I'm waiting, and because RZA wrote it. But bet me money, somebody's gonna say, yeah, we're Wu-Tang. What's that? An American saga.
No. No.
You don't think that's gonna happen?
No, it's not.
By my word, they're like, yo, this is like a saga, son. And then somebody be like, yeah, in America. It's like a saga in America.
No,
yeah, they're going to say it.
You're terrible. You're terrible.
Yeah. You wait and see. Wait till they show you how they come up with Wu-Tang. It'll probably be on the TV screen. The Wu-Tang. Pause that shit right there, son. What do you say, son?
My
so
God.
that's something they do ill before we sign them. They show them watching the karate movies, but they don't make real much reference to it. So
it's
hopefully
too early, yeah. So I like
but
that.
But they do show them watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but not in a ham-fisted way. Yo, did he say Wu-Tang, son? Yo, we should call ourselves Wu-Tang, son.
I can't tell if you're
say, yo, we should call ourselves Wu, son. And then here come Old Dirty. Yo, you got some tang on the fridge, son? Oh, that's it. Turn the TV off. That's it. Yo, this tang is fine. I'm done.
Don't do that to this show.
Is this tang mine?
Yeah. And then you know, Bobby, he's having those moments. He's gonna look off. Yo, you know he's doing that in the show. Yo, and he grabs somebody. You ever see him? He's grabbing one person's shoulder, another person's shoulder.
Yeah.
Yo, you should get on this track together. Yo.
Yo.
Whatever, Bobby.
Lil Dave.
Yo, but everybody's so dismissive.
Yo,
yeah, they don't have the hypnotism that RZA actually does. Like he can talk. He's not really doing that just yet.
Yeah,
so
not yet.
Hopefully that. You know.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Lil David said something.
Yeah, what you gonna say?
He had said something really funny about the production. Like he said they'll play a half-ass remnant of the beat we know it's supposed to be. We're hearing this
right
2 seconds into the beat. They're like, "Yo, this joint crazy." It's like, but the beat, nothing's happened yet. Like it's like literally the drums and like 3 seconds of a melody.
I think they did was they made a Casio Price version of all the beats.
Yeah.
So just cheapest sound. And like I said, they can't blow the budget on that, even though it's their stuff. So figure that shit out. I bet you won't hear a fucking Rakim song or a Run DMC song on there. You won't hear those.
Shit, what didn't he perform one?
They're not gonna pay for that shit.
Didn't he perform?
But I think you hear the trailing off of it. Like you hear the trailing off of a song or the beginning, and then like a lot of times what they'll do is you hear them queuing up the song, scratching it, and then they'll go backstage. With
I'm gonna rewatch that episode.
You ever notice that?
I'm gonna rewatch that episode because he performed.
See how much they did of it.
Yeah.
But same thing when they play stuff on the radio, they couldn't turn it off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such and such, and they click it off. So you can get away with a couple of seconds of something, but like you can't paying for a song. Mm-hmm. Shit, Eminem ain't using none of his songs. He did songs for the soundtrack.
Yeah.
There's no Eminem songs in 8 Mile, of his catalog. So other than the beats.
Right.
But anyway, that's a tale for another day. But stay tuned, gentlemen and ladies. Wu-Tang, an American saga, will continue. Son, don't invite Dennis to a repass, because if that motherfucker flipping the food, you can on your
Yo!
All right, you picking all of that shit up. They started cleaning up, but you picking up all that shit. That carb and that food was good too, because that woman was known through the hood, mashed potatoes and shit. Shit, oxtail. I know Andy's ears pricked up when he said oxtail, didn't they?
But of course,
who oxtail? Looking at the screen.
But of course, absolutely.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Absolutely. What's going on?
He was trying to cop a brick.
I can't wait till we do a show about food and he's just totally uninterested.
Over it. Over it.
Hate it.
Well, maybe Raekwon's gonna do the movie The Chef. I don't know.
Okay.
Time to go.
This has been great.
All right.
Catch you soon for 6 through 10.
All right, y'all.
All right, son. Make sure you tune in, son. What the fuck, son? You got this gun? Give me the gun, son.
Excellent. You're still here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of A Podcast Has No Name. If this is your first time checking us out, please subscribe. We are available on Google Play, Apple Music, Spotify, and pretty much everywhere else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Podcast Has No Name. Deuces.
Subscribe, please, please, please. Click and comment.